Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Sun.
Last night, the Cardiac Rays were at it again, rallying in the 7th inning to tie the game, then blowing it open in the 8th, keyed by Logan Forsythe's 2-run home run off Corey Kluber. Tonight, the Rays face another tough task with Indians right-hander Carlos Carrasco taking the hill against southpaw Drew Smyly. Last night at Tropicana Field, the Rays created some excitement opening this 6-game homestand. And tonight, this will be game 2 of the 3-game series between the Rays and the Cleveland Indians. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball from the Trop with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Statz. Good to have you with us tonight. Well, the Rays have picked up 3 wins. They've all been very exciting, and we'll get to that in a moment. But tonight, the pitching matchup, exciting in its own way, because the right-hander Carlos Carrasco and the lefty Drew Smyly, excellent pitchers, a contrast of approaches.
Listen, when the pitching matchups came out for this series, you knew it was going to be exciting across the board. Here we are in game 2, Carrasco, Smyly, and let's revisit what Carlos Carrasco did the last time he pitched in this building. Another powerful right-handed starting pitcher for the Cleveland Indians with command, and he took a no-hitter to within 1 out in the 9th inning before Joey Butler got him. He works primarily out of the stretch, an explosive fastball, mid to upper 90s, and a slider and a changeup, occasional curveball, but he does it all while commanding the ball around the zone. He makes it very difficult on opposing hitters. Expect the Rays to try to be very aggressive against Carrasco tonight because of that strike throwing ability. On the other side, Drew Smyly, you can bet after the debacle in Baltimore that he is so anxious to get back on the mound. And if you go back to his first start of the season against the Toronto Blue Jays, listen, there were a couple pitches in that start he'd like to have back, but overall, Drew Smyly showed you why you're so excited about his prospects to have a big season, the way that he moves the ball around the zone and keeps opposing hitters off balance.
Well, the Rays with 3 wins, and in their own way, they've all been right down to the wire. Exciting victories for the Rays. When we return, Todd Callis will take a look at this edition of the Cardiac Rays.
Cleveland Indians on this Wednesday night from Tropicana Field. Middle game of a 3-game series. Rays are 3-4 this year despite not leading or not being tied at any point in the 7th inning stretch this year. All 7 games they've trailed during the 7th inning stretch. But in 3 of those games, they've come back to win with home runs in the 8th. When you break down the scoring for the Rays in our Toyota Inside Look, you'll see that they have been outscored in innings 1 through 5, 24-9. Then innings 6 through 9, they flip it, outscoring their opponents 14-3. Forsythe with 2 big 8th inning home runs, Souza Jr. with the other. We caught up with Souza Jr. about the Rays trying to score earlier to take some of the heat off their starters.
Yeah, obviously we haven't started off games the way we wanted to at this point, but to battle back like we have, that shows we're going to need that in many games this year. So to do it early like that is huge. But yeah, to take a lot of stress off of our starting pitching and get some early, I think we're going to try and do that a little more.
Guess what? It's a Web Wednesday. There's the guys that are going to be answering your questions. Dwayne Stats and Brian Anderson. Send them via Twitter at Fox Sports Rays with the hashtag AskRays, and email us at foxsportssun@gmail.com. They are locked in, ready for a little baseball. Rays and the Indians on a Wednesday night should be a fun one, with Drew Smyly on the mound for Tampa Bay and Carlos Carrasco on the mound for the Cleveland Indians. We'll have all the action. Carrasco now lives in Tarpon Springs, almost with a no-hitter here in his last start against the Rays at Tropicana Field. All the action coming up next on Fox Sports Sun. Enjoy it.
Tonight we are victorious. Victorious. Until we feel alright. Tonight we are victorious. Cheering over and over. All my friends were glorious. Tonight we are victorious.
We are set to play ball. The first pitch to Rajah Davis. And Davis jumps on that one and fouls it right back. First pitch presented by Pinch a Penny. We are underway. Fouled again, 0-2.
Did we not say that Drew Smyly was going to be anxious to get back out on the mound? I mean, it's been a while.
Wait.
I mean, could not wait.
Yeah, he was not in a great mood when that game was rained out. He had warmed up, and the word was the game was going to start. He made his way in from the bullpen in Baltimore. And no sooner had he gotten into the dugout than it started to pour, and he was not happy. Davis takes the pitch low. It's 1-2. Veteran outfielder had a couple of at-bats, actually 3 official at-bats last night in Milwaukee. He was 0 for 3 and is out on strikes here to start this game. Let's take a quick look at the starting lineup for the Indians, brought to you by your Southern Ford dealers. We've seen Rajah Davis, followed by Kipnis, and then Lindor, who homered last night, Francisco Lindor. Napoli, Santana, and Gomes down the middle. Bird, Uribe, and Colin Cowgill in the lineup tonight. In right field, hitting ninth.
Terry Francona trying a little bit of everything to get this lineup going. They've faced a steady stream of lefty starters. And that has really, Tyler Naquin won the job out in center field. You combine the fact the lefty starters, Michael Brantley still isn't back yet, and he's just trying to fight the right mix here early in the year.
Kipnis takes it away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, the Rays come in hitting .223 as a team. The Indians are hitting .219 as a team. And 2 clubs featuring outstanding pitching staffs. Now 2-1. Smiley coming off a loss on the 4th to the Blue Jays. Foul out of play, 2-2.
Well, that was the ball game where Drew Smiley was victimized by the long ball. 3 home runs given up, 2 to left-handed hitters, something that's never been done before against Drew. Just ran into one of those days where if he made a mistake, wasn't hit for a single or a double, it was knocked out of the ballpark. He was better than his line.
There's strike 3 call. Nice right there, dropping that pitch in. 2 up and 2 down.
Well, at some point, the defense is going to get involved. And for the Rays, let's set that up for you and see how it's going to line up. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield left to right, we have Jennings, Kiermaier, and Geyer. And then across that infield, third to first, Longoria, Miller, Forsythe, and Morrison, with Kurt Casale behind the plate.
2 up, 2 down, and here's Francisco Lindor. Switch hitting infielder. The pitch is a strike. Lindor out of Puerto Rico, came to Orlando when he was about 12 years old and accelerated his baseball progress from that point forward. Miller at short, throw a bit wide, but right there is Morrison to handle it. And 1, 2, 3 go the Cleveland Indians. Rays coming in to hit. Victory last night. The Rays come in 3-4. The Rays lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. We'll find Logan Forsythe leading off, then Logan Morrison and Evan Longoria. Corey Dickerson, the cleanup hitter, the DH. Desmond Jennings and Brad Miller. Brandon Geyers in right tonight. Kevin Kiermaier hits 8th in center. Kirk Casale will do the catching, batting 9th.
Well, the right-hander Carlos Carrasco, making his second start of the season, really burst on the scene last year. His first full season starting in the big leagues, 30 starts, 14-12 record, 3.63 on the earned run average.
First pitch, a fastball, swing and a miss, not wasting any time. That fastball, 96, and Forsythe attacking it.
Well, and the Rays hitters, I expect them to be, they've been very aggressive anyway through the first, week and a half of the season. They'll be very aggressive tonight because Carrasco's got power stuff, put away stuff, but he throws a ton of strikes.
Foul back. Interesting, you mentioned the 3 home runs Smiley gave up. Both these starters in their first outings of the year touched for 3 home runs.
Yeah.
Carrasco gave up 3 to Boston.
Well, that's how many the Indians as a staff gave up through the first 5 games a year ago. They've given up 10 so far this year. But Carrasco's one of those guys, power stuff, good command. You've got to attack him early because he knows how to wipe you out.
Fly ball into right. That will be caught by Cowgill. 1 away.
Let's take a look at that Cleveland Indian defense and see how it's going to line up behind Carlos Carrasco here tonight. Here it is, brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, Marlon Byrd, Rajai Davis, and Colin Cowgill. And across the infield, third to first, Juan Uribe, Francisco Lindor, Jason Kipnis, and Mike Napoli with Yan Gomes back behind the dish.
Now Logan Morrison. Pitches away. Morrison, 1 for 21 right now. 0 for 3 last night. He walked in front of Longoria in the 8th inning when Evan hit the second 2-run home run of that inning for the Rays. It's 1-1.
Well, you can hear that fastball as it hits the glove of Yan Gomes. A powerful fastball thrown with relative ease by Carrasco. Not a ton of effort.
Ball 2 strikes, dropping that one in.
Yeah, I mean 85 miles per hour. A very, very hard breaking ball. He will throw the changeup primarily to left-handed hitters.
Two and two. On deck, Evan Longoria. Up the left side. That's going to be out of play. Sliced it down that left field line and over the low wall, out of play. Count holding it 2-2. Carlos Carrasco working on 6 days rest, and he picks up his first strikeout of the night right there.
What makes that pitch so effective is it stays in the zone for a long time, and it's over the plate. Breaking ball at the knees, and by the time it starts his break, Logan Morrison has already started his swing, and there's no way to hold up. That's why you're one of the top strikeout starting pitchers in all of baseball.
Evan Longoria. Evan takes a strike. Evan just 2 for 16. He has more at bats against Carrasco than anybody in this lineup. 2 for 16 against him with a home run. Popped it up. Kipnis, the second baseman, will make the call and the catch. 1, 2, 3 go the Rays. On to the second inning, no score. Wednesday Showdown is brought to you by your Tampa Bay area Mazda dealers. From the Trop tonight, we move into the second inning with Drew Smyly on the mound. Smyly had a 1-2-3 first, as did Carlos Carrasco. Mike Napoli takes a pitch away. Napoli 2 for 15 in his career against Smyly. One of those hits a home run. It's 1-1. A little chopper foul. 1-2. With that 1-2-3 first, going back into last night, Rays pitching retired the last 13 Cleveland hitters in a row to end that game. And a strikeout of Napoli. 3 strikeouts of the first 4 hitters for Smyly.
The beautiful mix going here in the early going. He really slowed Mike Napoli down with off speed down in the zone, and then he pops 91 at the top of the strike zone, and Mike Napoli swung at it like it was 101.
That's the thing about Smyly.
Yeah, it's the beauty.
I mean, you see hitters react to him as if his velocity was 97 or 98.
If you went back and just watched Smyly throw that fastball, Mike Napoli swing, and had no numbers up there, you'd be like, 96, 97. I mean, he was that tardy, but it was the pitches before that set it up.
Yep. It's quickly ahead of Carlos Santana, 0-2. Santana trying to hold on the breaking ball and could not. It's 1-2. Smyly has that ability to get into his rhythm out there, and he will really set the tone and the tempo of the game, and mixing all of those pitches in while he's speeding up the cadence of the game. He jams Santana. Smyly's going to make the catch. So that pitcher off the mound made the grab.
He did it. No, he did not allow anybody to call him off. Yeah, I'd roll that ball right to the dugout.
My partner smiling ear to ear.
That is really good.
Saw Smyly making that call.
Watch this. Taking charge. Taking charge. Get away. That is fantastic. That right there is Legion Ball.
All right. The fact that he was left-handed didn't hurt either.
No.
Way to go.
I'm very, very happy. He did roll the ball off. See? He just rolled the ball off. I'd take that one home, too. It doesn't happen very often.
Well, 2 up, 2 down here in the second. Smiley faces Yan Gomes. Gomes out front swinging over that pitch for a strike. Gomes has had some success against Smiley to the tune of 4 hits, 4 for 8, and 2 home runs. So Smiley trying to keep him off balance to start him, and now misses up. 1-1. One and 2.
Tell you that breaking ball is nasty here in tonight's start. I know it's early, but he's throwing that. There's no hump in it. It comes out of the hand with really tight spin, and these hitters, they commit. They commit too soon. Can't help yourself.
Pop foul out of play. Gomes had a couple hits last night, including a double off the wall in center field in the 4th inning. He had a single and a double in 3 at-bats. Toward right center field. Geyer lost it and still made the catch. How about that? Geyer lost it and with a backhand, it appeared, made the grab. Boy, he appeared to be in big trouble out there in right center field. And take a look at this. Oh, yeah. Rays on to hit in the bottom of the 2nd inning. They'll send the DH Corey Dickerson to lead it off. Jennings and Miller will follow against Carlos Carrasco, the 29-year-old right-hander. Dickerson starts the night hitting .261. 3 home runs and 2 doubles. Strike 1. Fastball, mid-90s.
Between that fastball, the wipeout slider that Carrasco possesses, that's the reason why you just don't sit back and let him fill up the zone early and get into those 0-2 type counts. You want to be the aggressor.
1-1.
Well, and that's a pitch right there, but if Yan Gomes catches it clean, that could be 0-2. That ball looked like it was a strike, but you clank it off the catcher's glove and maybe don't get that call.
Outside. Fastball, 2-1. Carrasco working on 6 days rest because of the rainouts the Indians have had. They were rained out Thursday against Boston. Carrasco found himself big push back. Two. Well, that follows 95.
And that's a mature pitcher. You know, Corey Dickerson's a good fastball hitter. He's in a fastball count. So Carrasco goes, I'll give you something that looks kind of like a fastball out of my hand if I spin it. And he just takes that ball just off the plate inside and gets the swing and a miss. Now 2-2 as a hitter, you're thinking, boy, it could be anything.
The fastball stands him up a little bit.
You know, that's the effectiveness of that 2-1 off-speed pitch, 2-1 breaking ball. Because as a hitter, now that it's 2-2, you say, well, if he was willing to throw that 2-1, I just swung and missed at it, he may come right back with it, or he may come back with 97. I mean, he's got the whole arsenal to work with.
Right back to the mound. Carrasco throws Dickerson out. One gone. Tonight's Rays telecast can make you a winner. Enter now for a chance at tonight's Rays Up to Win prize of meet and greet with Kevin Cash, plus 2 autographed Kevin Cash jerseys and 2 lower box tickets. The winner's name will be shown live on the air in the 8th inning. So visit RaysBaseball.com/Rays Up to Win to enter. Go online now to register. Rays Up. Here's Desmond Jennings. Desmond drove in a run with a base hit in last night's game. 1-0. That was a big hit. 2 outs with Dickerson on second, and he had a base hit to drive him in. That tied the game, and then the Rays hit the two-run home runs in the 8th. High shot back into right. Cowgill's going to have plenty of room and make the catch. 2 gone. So the base is empty. 6 up, 6 down for the Indians, and 5 up, 5 down for the Rays. Now Brad Miller to face Carrasco. Brad 1 for 20 to start the year. That hit was a double in Baltimore off the top of the scoreboard. Breaking ball in for a strike. Well, we've talked about a couple of the Rays pitchers being very efficient with their delivery. And what's happened, for example, in the bullpen with Eddie Romero. Carrasco's about as simplified as you can get with that delivery, pretty much out of the stretch.
Yeah, no wasted movement at all. That leads to repeatable delivery. We talked about it last night. I'm sure we'll mention it again in the future, but you see it just a modified out of the stretch. Keep everything simple and directional towards home plate.
And he's quickly ahead of Miller, 1 and 2.
I'll tell you, there is so much pure, great stuff in the game right now, and that stuff coming out of your hand with the velocity that it does, especially here with Carrasco, it forces quick decisions and a lot of bad decisions.
Two and 2. Well, we started to talk about this the other night. Velocity is on the upswing in this game over the last few seasons, and location of pitches in the zone down. So the strikes are consistently lower and the velocity is consistently higher. Makes it tough for hitters. Down to first base. Napoli's going to make the play unassisted. A couple of ground ball outs around a fly ball to right. No scores. We go to the 3rd. Third, Pete Bear and Kevin Kiermaier joined the celebration for Kevin Kiermaier's 2015 Platinum Glove Award Sunday. Kids get a Kiermaier glove presented by the Florida Division of Emergency Management. Purchase your tickets by calling 888-FAN-RAISE or visit raisebaseball.com. Raise up. Here's the first pitch strike. Marlon Byrd leading off the third. Two.
That's the combo. You know, the Cleveland Indians hitters so far in this ball game have not been able to pick up the curveball very well. So you get a little check swing on the first pitch curveball, which immediately sets up the fastball elevated that you cannot catch up to. He'll play that game with you all night long. There you go.
And he goes up and strikes out Byrd. A couple of fastballs to follow that breaking ball. Fourth strikeout for Smiley. Hey, let's check in with Emily for the first time tonight.
I know. Happy Web Wednesday, guys. Happy to be here. First question for you is from John. He's wondering, with the slow start for Logan Morrison and Brad Miller, how much can you put that on them switching to a new ball club and trying to fit into this new system? For all of you guys that want to take part in our Web Wednesday, you can use the hashtag AskRaise, or you can send an email to foxsportssun@gmail.com.
Well, there you go. First question of the night, and it has been a tough start for the Rays shortstop and the first baseman, Logan Morrison. And I guess part of that, you could say, coming to a new team, but, you know, who's to say that with your old team you don't get off to that kind of start? It's such a small part. It's magnified because it's at the beginning of the year, but it's such a small sample of the plate appearances that these guys will have.
Well, yeah, no, there's no question about it, and they'll get on track. That will happen. But
2-1, Uribe goes to center. Kiermaier will take it.
But I will say this, you know, when you go to a new team, and that's why I think at this point for both of them it's mental. It's no, there may be some physical things they need to straighten out mechanically with their swings at the plate, but I think a lot of it has gone mental. And when you change teams, you come to a new team that has high expectations. You, Brad Miller, Logan Morrison, you are going to be counted on to play a big role on that team at two very important positions. It's easy to get, you see that all the time. And it takes a guy, you think about Brian McCann's start with the Yankees. You know, at the catching position and all the expectations of being a New York Yankee, that first year didn't go quite the way that he wanted to. You see it all the time, and I think that has contributed to the slow start. And then, of course, once things don't go well the first couple of games, then maybe you start to press a little bit, you start to try to do a little bit too much, and then it becomes a bigger issue and starts to snowball on you. That's why if you could have a hit or two fall in here or there, you'll see it turn around really quick.
2 strikes here on Colin Cowgill. Yeah, and as much as a player tries not to let that creep in, it's just human nature that it will.
You better believe it will.
I mean, you know, you come in, you're 1 for 21 or 1 for 20, whatever it is. Yeah, that thought crosses your mind.
Yeah, you can pretend that you don't know what the exact numbers are. You know exactly what those numbers
here's
are.
Here's the thing about that. This is such a game of numbers, and it's a game of numbers over a period of time. You look at the body of work of both these guys. Well, they're not going to go 1 for 20 forever.
Right.
I mean, they're going to get some hits.
Yep. It's going to take one game, maybe one at bat to start to turn things around.
And Cowgill is out on strikes. Fastball got him. 9 up, 9 down. We go to the bottom of the third. No score. In this game through 2.5. Drew Smiley's retired the first 9 he has faced. Carlos Carrasco has retired 6 in a row. Brandon Guyer will open the home half of the third. Guyer getting a start tonight, hitting in front of Kiermaier and Casale. Takes the ball wide. Rays play the Indians tomorrow afternoon. Then the White Sox come in. And they're going to see 3 left-handers in that Chicago series.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a change of gears. You're going to go Kluber, Carrasco, Salazar, power, well, more power, even more power, and then you're going to go all to the left side over the weekend. So to switch up the game plans rather quickly.
Foul. That ball made contact up there with some of the rigging and I think one of the rings, and wound up deflecting. Foul and out of play. It hit in foul territory to begin up there. The count is now 2-1. Lindor ran out there looking for it, thought he might have a chance to catch it, then realized he didn't know where he was and covered his head. So he's
Smart.
young, but he's smart.
Yeah.
Two and two. Well, there's some pitching going on tonight here with Smiley and Carrasco.
It's lived up to the billing. We thought coming into this series we had the opportunity to see some really good. Knew the pitching matchups were good, but were they going to be able to perform? Well, so far it's been outstanding.
Count holds at 2-2.
You've got Carlos Carrasco, a little unfinished business. Wasn't happy with his first start of the season against the Red Sox. Came within an out of a no-hitter his last outing here. Drew Smiley and what happened in Baltimore, he's not real happy.
And Guyer is out on strikes. Second strikeout there for the right-hander Carrasco.
Well, when these pitchers, both of them really are making their pitches, they're just so difficult. Again with the breaking ball that stays knee-high almost all the way to the plate. When Brandon Guyer starts his swing, that's when the ball starts to bottom out, and it's too late to do anything at that point. That's why when you put yourself in the position, not that Brandon did, but that's why the Rays are so aggressive early now, because when you get to 2 strikes, you make yourself susceptible to pitches just like that.
There's Kevin Kiermaier going after the first pitch, and he misses it. Kiermaier 4 of 19 in the early going. It's 1-1. It's a ball, 2 strikes. Carrasco out of Venezuela. And lives here in the Tampa Bay area now. Originally with the Philadelphia Phillies organization. Kiermaier did go. And he is out on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts.
Well, down and in and just a little bit too far. It's just so hard because you've got to make a quick decision. You've got to get it started early, and then all of a sudden you recognize the break or the tumble and you go, uh-oh. It's too late at that point. We've seen that numerous times in this game.
Casale swings through the first pitch for a strike. Foul back to third. Mentioned Carrasco's near no-hitter last year here. In fact, when he was with the Phillies organization his first year in the Gulf Coast League, he did throw a no-hitter for their Gulf Coast League team, and then in his time in the minor leagues was involved in a couple of combination no-hitters. Came within not only an out, came within a strike last year of throwing one here at the Trop against the Rays. And strike three called. So he strikes out the side. 9 up, 9 down for the Rays. No score through 3. Tonight's Let's Motor Player Profile brought to you by BMW Mini. And our player profile, Rajah Davis. Growing up, idolizing Bo Jackson and a San Francisco 49ers fan. Well, with the speed that he still has, when he first came up, he was as fast as anybody, and still, as a veteran player, can run. It's been interesting to see him on the football field too.
I don't know if he had quite the power of a Bo Jackson, but certainly shifty enough to be effective in the open field.
You can imagine some of the moves.
We've seen some of the moves, and they are shifty.
They are. He's been entertaining to watch along the way, most recently with the Tigers and now with the Indians. We liked him in Oakland. That's a strike, 2-2. Well, Smiley, the first time through, 9 up, 9 down, 5 strikeouts, throwing a ton of first pitch strikes. He was 7 of his first 9, first time through the lineup in first pitch strikes. There's one just off the glove of Miller. He's going to have to hustle after it. Davis is going to use some of that speed to throw to second, and he beats the play. Ball loose, and it's Smiley who picks it up on the infield. He's back there to tag him just in case that leg might pop off the bag.
Well, there were a couple things at play there. First, the pitch, a mistake that stayed out over the plate. You've got to take advantage of those on a night like tonight. And then after the ball glances off the glove of Brad Miller, Rajah Davis does not hesitate at all. Right here, this ball off the glove, kind of out into no man's land. He immediately takes the turn and the decision to go for second. You've got to be aggressive in these types of situations. Unfortunate. Drew Smyly, you better believe he's not happy. You know, bad enough that a guy's going to get a hit off that. He turns it into a double.
Flicks off the glove of the shortstop into left, and with Davis and his speed, he's out there at second with the double, his first of the year. He starts to widen that lead, and Smyly steps back to take a look.
Now you start to become a distraction. You want that pitcher thinking more about you out at second base than he is about making a pitch to Jason Kipnis, a very dangerous hitter.
Kipnis shortens, takes the pitch for a ball. Kipnis, the Rays saw him last year. He was red hot. He had a great month of May. This is his first plate appearance this year with a man in scoring position. Pop short center. Kiermaier coming in a hurry. Cannot get there. First and third. Nice job, though, by Kiermaier. Kiermaier keeping Davis from scoring, deking him out there in center about as well as he could.
Yeah, and anytime a ball goes in the air with Kiermaier out in center field, you're thinking, well, he could probably get to it. Then he throws the glove up. Rajai Davis is going to be very conservative at that point. We'll keep him at third, first and third now, and you still got a chance to wiggle out of this.
Francisco Lindor with men on the corners and the middle part of the order coming up. Tall order here for Smyly. Ground ball short. Miller goes to second out there. First base safe there, and the run scores. So they turn the leadoff double into the first run of the game. Kipnis forced at second to keep him out of scoring position. But Lindor reaches on a fielder's choice and picks up the run batted in.
Well, Lindor can scoot. He gets out in front, chops this ball to short. I think the Rays may have a chance, but even on this well-turned attempt at a double play, Lindor beats it out easily.
So the Indians on the board. Lindor over at first, and Mike Napoli is the hitter. Napoli struck out his first time, but after a fastball up. Pitch is high, 1-0. Lindor can run. He was 12 of 14 after getting to the big leagues last year and spending not quite, but almost 2/3 of the season with the Indians. Two and 0. He takes a big cut. Napoli
kind of pulled off of that pitch, looking for a fastball or hoping for one at least in a 2-0 count. And boy, he gets one here. It's a little bit long in the swing, and Smyly able to sneak it by him.
Yeah, he tends to have some elevation in that swing anyway.
No, that's where he can run into problems, and he's got tremendous power, but there are times where he will collapse that backside and then turn into an uppercut swing where the bat is in and out of that strike zone so quickly it leaves very little room for error as far as solid contact goes.
And a shot deep to left. Jennings will go back, and this will be played off the wall. Lindor will go to third on the double by Napoli, and it's second and third Cleveland.
Well, he was beat with the hard stuff and then was all over what looked like, yeah, maybe a cutter. Mid to upper 80s, and that, yeah, that ball kind of even had a little sink to it. Whatever it was, 85, 86 miles an hour, it did not end up where Drew Smyly wanted it.
So now the Indians with 2 more men in scoring position and only 1 out. This becomes a very big hitter for Smyly and the Rays. Carlos Santana, especially with the way Carrasco's throwing the ball tonight. Pitch is popped up short right. Geyer, a long run. Forsythe out there. He'll make the catch. Tag at third. Lindor will try to score and does. And the throw to the plate skips through and by Smyly, who was backing up the play. That ball goes out of play. And that means Napoli's going to be awarded the plate. And the Indians pick up their second and third runs of the inning on that.
Well, and Kevin Cash is going to come out and talk about this, but going back to the play itself, you wonder if it would have been better for Brandon Geyer if he could have gotten there with his momentum going towards home plate. Logan Forsythe catching it running out to the outfield, has to spin and just throw that ball in there. It ends up being high. The run's going to score. That's just a bad angle to try to make a throw, and it looked like Brandon Geyer was there in time. And a high throw leads to that, and then it bounced right into the camera well. Didn't get back far enough. You want your starting pitcher to be a little bit deeper than that. You actually want him to be about as deep as he can get to make a play on that ball, but it got by him and it got into the camera well. That hurts.
So it's a 3-run inning. Now a little nubber going to be foul off the bat of Yan Gomes. So that pop fly to right field, caught by Forsythe, turns out to be a sacrifice fly, and an error will be charged to Forsythe on the throw, allowing the second run of that play to score. 1-1 now to Gomes.
Now you wonder what the communication was like between Forsythe and Brandon Geyer. That was a ball in no man's land, so you understand Forsythe doing whatever he can to get there. But Brandon Geyer also at the end of the day looked like he was close enough, and with his momentum heading towards home plate, you'd rather have him catch that ball than Logan. Although it was, you know, like I said, in between, you just wonder the communication going back and forth.
Well, it's been a frustrating inning on a couple fronts. One starting with the double by Davis that was off the glove of Miller.
Yeah.
And it skipped away from him just enough for Davis to run it into a double. And then that play right there, in between, a little indecision maybe with Geyer and Forsythe. But I think you're right about Geyer, who was beating at full speed ahead. Coming in, he absolutely had the angle there. But in the heat of the moment, difficult to say, no, you take it, I'll take it. No, and then you get into one of those moments and the ball drops.
Yeah, you've got to record the out, no doubt. But then even on the throw, it forces a tough throw from Logan, and that's where Drew needs to be a little bit deeper. You get caught up into that play a little bit, a little too close to the catcher. It just clears him, and all of a sudden it's by you. You don't have a lot of time to react.
Ground ball by the mound. Miller up with this one in the throw. In time. That takes care of Gomes. 3-run score for Cleveland. It's 3-0. Nissan is brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory Ram. By Bright House Networks. Visit brighthouse.com. By Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. And by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. Ready for the rally here, apparently. Rays coming in to hit in the bottom of the 4th inning, top of the order. Logan Forsythe takes it low and away.
What do you think the chances are that that gentleman at one point lost his car keys in that beer?
They may have been looking for them right then.
Maybe he puts them in there.
Little pouch. Weave it. Popped up, foul ball. That's going to carry out a play. Takes the count to 1-1. Well, the Rays up and down in order 3 times against Carrasco, the same as the Indians were against Smiley until they scored 3 runs in the top of the inning. 2 of those earned.
You want to demoralize a pitcher? Answer in this half.
Back into the screen. It's 1-2. Logan Morrison next, then Longoria. Logan out on strikes. 10 in a row retired by Carrasco. Let's check in now with Todd Callis. Todd?
Hey, Dwayne. Kevin Cash, about 3 seasons ago, spent some time with Carlos Carrasco in the Indians bullpen. In 2013, Carrasco between the rotation and the bullpen. Kevin was asked before the game if he had any impact on Carrasco's improvement into the 2014 season. He said absolutely none. Kind of typical Kevin Cash, never takes credit for anything. He said he just watched a guy who had incredible stuff that he thought could play anywhere, and it finally became a fact where he believed in himself. And now Kevin says this guy's as good stuff-wise as anybody in the league.
Isn't it amazing that in that case somebody like Kevin Cash can help a light turn on in the career of a pitcher who has a great arm to begin with?
Yeah. Sometimes you're just never sure who you're going to come across, cross paths with during the course of your career that's going to have a way with you, a way of communicating with you that the light goes off. Just puts things into terms that you understand. Handles it maybe a different way than has ever been handled before. Maybe it's a trick here or there.
Hey, there's a base hit for Morrison. A 2-0 pitch and a base hit off a fastball sent right back through the middle. The Rays have their first hit. So Logan Morrison is aboard.
Well, he got a fastball here that he could get extended on. He hit that ball hard and able to pop it through the defense. You hope that gets him going, and in the course of this game, you hope it gets the Rays going. Down by 3.
Evan Longoria popped out to Kipnis, the second baseman, in shallow center field his first time. Pop fly, right center. Cowgill is there and makes the catch. 2 outs.
Number 10, designated hitter, Corey Dickerson.
Morrison still at first. Corey Dickerson, the DH, heads to the plate.
Well, one thing I love about Corey Dickerson is when he climbs into that batter's box, he serves notice, and he already has here in the early going that he is up there ready to hit. We've seen the power. Boy, when he swings, he does not get cheated, and so as a pitcher, you've got to make pitches to him right off the bat or he will hurt you.
1-0. Yeah, it's fun to have a guy around like that in the middle of the lineup. I mean, and that can be contagious too.
Yeah. I mean, it gives that feeling of that Blue Jay team where they would just come out of the batter, or out of the dugout for that matter, out of the on-deck circle, just, I mean, helicoptering and big swings and trying to put the fear of.
Fly ball lifted toward left center field. Bird on the move. He's there, however, in front of the track, making the catch, and the Rays get a base hit. Leave a man. We're through 4. Smiley will head back to the hill in the 5th. It's 3-0 Cleveland. We head into the top of the 5th inning. Drew Smiley back to the hill. Marlon Byrd, the veteran outfielder, leads it off. First pitch is down a little bit. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, this has been a familiar refrain for the Rays, fighting from behind.
1-1. It's out of play. Takes the count to 1-2.
Now this is where Drew Smiley can drop that curveball out over the plate, something soft and away from Bird. Could even climb the ladder if he wants.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Bird out on strikes for the 2nd time tonight. Here's your chance to get a steal, Rays fans. Tonight's steal of the evening features press level tickets for Friday, April 15th against the White Sox for $19, half off the regular price. Available tonight only. Visit RaysBaseball.com/steal now or call 888-FAN-RAYS for more information. Rays up. Uribe takes the pitch for a ball. Two and 0. Smiley behind the number 8 hitter, 3-0. That's Colin Cowgill on deck. Three balls and a strike. Fastball fouled back and the count is full. There's ball 4. Smiley gives up the first walk he's issued. First walk of the game in any case.
Number 7, right fielder, Colin Cowgill.
Uribe at first. This is Colin Cowgill. He struck out his first time. Then 6 at bats for the Indians this year, with 4 strikeouts coming over from the Angels. Deep down the left side, but foul. Jumped on the first pitch.
Yeah, just far enough in because Cowgill got it started early, but that ball cutting in off the plate, he was not able to keep it fair. Thank goodness, because that ball was well struck. That's the one nice thing about the cutter. If you do execute it and get it to its proper spot, it's either going to be off the label of the bat. If they do get the barrel to it, it's going to be tough to keep fair.
This one bounding away from Casale to second base. Goes Uribe, and the Indians suddenly have a man in scoring position.
Self-inflicted wounds.
Yep.
You have a walk, and then all of a sudden a ball right here, a changeup in the dirt, and Casale rolls over to try to block it. And boy, it just catches the thumb of that glove. It redirects it off the chest protector and away.
Fastball by him. 1-2. Top of the order. Rajah Davis on deck. Making contact, staying alive on the off-speed pitch. Throws the fastball up and by him.
Well, that was a great sequence to finish off that at bat by Smiley. A fastball up to get 2 strikes, slow him back down with a breaking ball out of the zone, then speed him back up with that heater up. Well, I'll tell you, he just worked him over well, and you needed a strikeout in that situation, or at least you could have really used one, and he got it. Well, guys, they see that pitch so well. They come up empty. They're saying it's 92. How did I miss it? I mean, not real happy.
Well, 7 strikeouts for Smiley. The only one looking was Kipnis back in the first, so 6 of the 7 swinging third strikes. Rajah Davis fouls it right back over the screen.
You know, all the good strikeout pitchers, and let's face it, Drew Smiley, since coming over to the Rays, is a 9.5 strikeout per 9-inning guy. All of the good strikeout pitchers, they present pitches as strikes that aren't. They present them well. And as a hitter, you have 2 strikes on you, and you're like, I've got to go for this thing. And it's either above the zone or below the zone most of the time, or that's where it ends up. It's all about presentation, Dwayne.
That's what you've always said. Right again. 2 strikes now.
I mean, you've been to those dinners where the food is mediocre at best, but you know what? You present it well, the table's not, and all of a sudden you don't mind. It's okay.
It's usually what accompanies the meal that makes it better as the evening progresses.
I find that the more of that, that is presented, the better everything tastes.
That's right.
And I want more of it. The munchies.
Davis fouls this one back out of play.
And then for whatever reason, it seems like the perfect top off is a pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everything gets better and better and better, and then there's pizza. Uribe at second, 2 strikes on Davis. This pitch covered by Casale.
Speaking of,
There you are. Just put you right in the mood for that.
it's a little early.
Just planting a seed. He got him. Struck him out on a fastball swinging. Bottom of the 5th coming. 3-0 Cleveland. The drop. Toyota keys to the success, and for the Rays recently, the long ball. You go back 21 consecutive games back into last year and this year, in which they've hit a home run and showing signs of being a much more powerful team this year.
Yeah, there's more threats in this lineup, top to bottom. So you can see streaks like this. When this one eventually ends, you think that it will at some point, but even so, you can see another one starting up pretty quickly because you've got a lot of guys in this lineup that are capable of popping that ball out of here.
Desmond Jennings taking a fastball in off the plate to begin the home half of the 5th. Rays trying to get something going here against Carrasco. The only base runner was the Logan Morrison base hit in the 4th. Two and one. Up 3 balls and a strike. Haven't had many 3-ball counts tonight. Dickerson went 3-2 and grounded out in the second inning. Now 3-1 to Jennings. And he's on to open the 5th. Well, let's see if that's the start of something for the Rays. They get the leadoff man on.
Number 13, the shortstop, Brad Miller.
I didn't have to do anything but have a good eye. I mean, these are the type of situations you need to take advantage of. Carrasco's been, I mean, just drifting right along, throwing a great game, and now a walk to a leadoff hitter. Time to cash in.
Brad Miller grounded out his first time. Jennings back in. Ball, no strikes. Now Miller is up in the count. Taking a couple of pitches well off the zone wide. 2-0. Center, hit right to Rajah Davis. He had it played perfectly.
It didn't hardly have to get out of his stance. I mean, he comes set. Brad Miller, all you're thinking about is solid contact. You hit a line drive right to center field, and Davis waits on it.
Well, now Brandon Guyer. Well, Carrasco will take that after walking the first guy and falling behind 2-0. Get a line drive right at somebody. This is on the first pitch to Guyer.
The command issues have come in here for Carrasco. He's just kind of pulling off pitches. You can see him really starting to fall a little bit towards the Rays dugout, leaving that arm out. Tough to get on top of the ball and drive it to the location you want it.
There's a bunt by Guyer. Going to go down to second out there, and they do not attempt the double play. Ball dead right in front of the plate.
It spun sideways, and I'll tell you, that was a difficult play there by the Indians. Yan Gomes is able to jump out there and grab it, but he's throwing to a target that has not gotten there. And Jason Kipnis, who now has to find the bag and then make that catch on a ball that's down there around the shins. That's not real easy when you're running to cover the bag rather quickly, and you get a throw behind you and low, catch it and find the bag for the force.
Well, Gomes still a strike down there. And here's Kevin Kiermaier. Kiermaier takes it down. Carrasco's been behind in every count in this inning. up this time, and he's down 2-0 to Kiermaier.
And mechanically just getting a little bit out of his delivery right now. Started with the walk and has just continued rushing a little bit towards home plate. That was something that really plagued him in that start against the Boston Red Sox. Rushing, bad location. That was the start. He gave up 3 home runs in.
He's made 12 pitches this inning, 9 out of the zone. This one slices toward left center, but Davis on the run is there to make the catch, and the Rays are out. We're going to head into the 6th. It's 3-0 Cleveland. Well, the Rays are down 3-0. Indians put 3 on the board in the 4th inning. The first one scored on that play with Rajah Davis crossing the plate. And then the Rays throwing the ball around there on that fly ball to short right, caught by Forsythe. That gave Carrasco a 3-0 lead, and he's been in command, although the 5th inning started to show some signs of giving the Rays maybe a little opening.
Well, and that's what you're hoping for, because he did come out of his delivery a little bit, left some pitches out of the strike zone, was not nearly as sharp as he was the first 4, but still overall the line is good, and he's got a 3-run lead.
First pitch is a strike into Jason Kipnis from Drew Smiley. 2 Smiley out here in the 6th inning. 8 strikeouts for Drew. Giving up 1 walk, 3 runs on 3 hits. Rays have committed an error and a wild pitch, and Kipnis waves and misses. He is out on strikes. Kipnis, just in case, ran down to first, but the plate umpire indicated it was a clean reception by Casali. And that's strikeout number 9 for Smiley. Francisco Lindor up here now. The pitch is a strike. He got credit for a run batted in the 3-run 4th. Smiley quickly ahead of him.
Boy, he does a tremendous job of changing speeds, changing eye levels, moving pitches in and out.
Popped up, foul ball. Casali starts after it. Will he have room? It's on top of the dugout. Well, that's never an easy play for a catcher. Number one, they've got to cover so much ground and then locate the ball and then actually make the catch. That one was out of his reach, but to even get to the vicinity is really amazing sometimes for these catchers.
Yeah, think about it. That ball off the bat, you've got to lose the mask, find it in this roof. It's got spin on it. Get up and make your way there with all that gear on.
Longoria from third with an opportunity, and he bounces it in past Morrison, and it skips into the stands. So Lindor winds up at second. That'll be an error charged to Evan on the throw, and Morrison could not corral it.
Well, moving to his left, and Evan just short arms the throw a little bit. You see him right here in position to make this play. Just kind of short arms it. That ball's going to bounce, and Logan Morrison not able to come up with the scoop. And not only that, but off the glove into the stands. So it goes out of play, and that allows Lindor the ability to move up to second base.
Well, the Rays, who had been charged with 2 errors all year, have committed 2 errors tonight. Here's Mike Napoli. The pitch is a strike. Napoli went up out of the zone after that one, and then some.
You think about that swing of Mike Napoli, very powerful, but no way where this pitch is. I mean, Casale almost standing up right across the shoulders. Not going to get there.
Looks inviting.
It sure does.
Goes up there again. The ball, 2 strikes.
Well, now you have that ability to go either with the changeup or even the curveball below the zone the other side. I mean, anything below those last 2 pitches is in play.
Erasmo Ramirez busy in the bullpen. Lifted into center. Kiermaier getting into position, makes the catch, and holding at second is Lindor. 2 outs. Well, Rays fans come out and celebrate the life and legacy of Jackie Robinson at the annual Breaking Barriers game Friday, April 15th, when the Rays take on the Chicago White Sox. Get 2 lower box tickets for just $42. That's a savings of over 50%. So visit RaysBaseball.com/42 or call 888-FAN-RAYS for more info. Rays up. Here's Carlos Santana. That's a strike. Fastball to start him. Santana got credit for a run batted in on a sacrifice fly to right that was caught by the second baseman Logan Forsythe in the 3-run 4th inning. There goes Lindor, headed to third. Throw pops away from Longoria. Would have been close. And Lindor picks up a steal of third.
Well, that's a gutsy attempt there with 2 outs. You don't want to make that 3rd out at third base, so you know you've got to be able to get there. And I'll tell you, if Evan catches that ball clean, they may have had him. He looked like he caught that right on the left arm of Lindor. If that ball's into the glove, this inning's probably over.
Two and one. Hot shot, look out. Lindor hitting the deck. Oh my. He gets up, takes a look at Santana. Well, I'll tell you, you talk about dangerous. Wow. Watch him hit the deck.
Boy, head high.
And you know, really, he was on the move and that ball was past him. Big cut and a miss by Santana for the strikeout. Bottom of the 6th coming, 3-0 Cleveland. Sports Sun is brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory Ram. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by your Southern Chevy dealers. Kurt Casale will open the bottom of the 6th inning. Rays have just one hit. There's a pitch line foul ricocheting beyond the bullpen. Casale caught looking with a strikeout in third. Boy, that was a nice throw he made on the steal of third base by Lindor in the top half of this inning.
That was a perfect throw. I mean, right off the bag, low. I mean, he needed to make that kind of throw for any chance to get Lindor. It just didn't happen.
Well, how about that pitch?
I mean, sharp late break.
That is tough to deal with there. 0-2. One and two. Down to third. Uribe winds up and uncorks that throw. Casale's the first out at the bottom of the 6th inning. And we're going to check in with Emily once again. Emily?
Dwayne B.A., another Web Wednesday question coming your way. We want to remind all the fans that you can be a part of the broadcast if you go on Twitter, use the hashtag AskRays, or send an email to foxsportssun@gmail.com. This one is from Tim from Tarpon Springs. We've seen Hank Conger and Kurt Casale get some time behind the plate. Do you think, or do you see them splitting that time 50-50 for the remainder of the season?
Good question there. One gone here with Logan Forsythe stepping in. They're going to split, but I don't know if it would be 50-50. I think they like Conger's left-handed bat. You know, he's a switch hitter, better from the left side. And you're going to see a lot more right-handers than left-handers throughout the year. And I think despite all that, I think it's going to be close to a 50-50 split.
I think in a perfect world, that's what you would do. But like you said, you're going to see far more, well, maybe not far more, but you're going to see more right-handed starters than you will left-handed starters. There may be a time or two where these guys get hot and you just don't want to pull them out of the lineup for, you know, any particular reason. I mean, you let them play it out. So in a perfect world, 50-50, but you know, they're both going to get a ton of playing time. We know that. We absolutely know that. It'll be all about the matchups, as it, you know, a lot of times it is in this game, in this day and age.
And sometimes, I mean, as a rule of thumb, it's you'd like to have a left-handed bat against a right-hander out there, and vice versa. But some of these matchups will not follow that formula. So you might see some cases where a guy's going to face a right-handed pitcher, even though you might have a left-handed bat. Hey, nice catch.
Thank you.
Right in the middle of our conversation.
It's a good thing I caught that out of the.
I saw you moving. I said, I'm going to let you have that.
Well, there
and
you go.
And a nice catch. Take a look at that. Well, nice grab here by my partner.
Little rubbed up ball. Love it. That one will stay.
So nice going. Ooh, a strike on the outside corner to Forsythe. And that is out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down in the 6th. I tell you, Carrasco has been as good as advertised.
You know, he had that little bit of a hiccup mechanically, got a little bit out of himself in the 5th inning, and you were hoping that that was going to be a trend that would continue. Obviously, being, if you're a Rays fan, but it looks like he has made the adjustment here in the 6th, has come out sharp once again, making quality pitches.
Logan Morrison fouls it the other way. Logan has the only hit gathered by the Rays. Had only 4 hits in this game. 3 by Cleveland and 1 by the Rays. Morrison behind 0-2. He's got the base hit in the 4th from Morrison. A walk drawn by Jennings in the 5th. That's been it. Now 1-2. Evan Longoria on deck. Morrison strikes out. 1, 2, 3. Go the Rays. We go to the 7th. 3-0 Cleveland. Sports On is brought to you by Ram Trucks. Guts, Glory, Ram. By Checkers, Fast Foodies, Know the Deal. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. On to the 7th inning. Rays down 3-0. 10 strikeouts for Drew Smyly. This is the 6th 10 strikeout game of his career. His career high is 11. And he's accomplished that twice. Ground ball by Gomes to short. Miller's throw, and it's scooped this time by Morrison on that one hop from short.
He took a nice bailout here. This throw by Brad Miller just straight into the dirt, and that's not an easy scoop either. That was a little bit out in front of Logan Morrison, and a nice backhanded save job right there.
Marlon Byrd. Ball, no strikes. Two and 0. That one is down. Well, we're here at 1 out into the 7th inning. Ramirez up again for the Rays in the bullpen. Two and 1. 3-1. The right side toward the bullpen. Over there into foul territory, and Geyer gets there reaching down to make the catch. You get into that bullpen area behind the mound and around the mound, that's tough.
Yeah, tough navigating over there because, well, you don't have a lot of room to work with. You do have the mound to contend with. You got to keep your eyes on the ball, the low wall, and then you make a basket catch just below the knee. That's well done.
So 2 gone. Juan Uribe takes a pitch low. A ball, no strikes. Big cut and a miss. Fastball and a big swing. 1-1. Uribe didn't sign with the Indians until the very end of February. And then he had to go about getting his work visa, and that delayed him a while. So he did not have a full spring training.
Well, the thing is, he's had like 30 others, so he gets it.
30 could be right.
I mean, what's 16 or 17 years in the big leagues?
Did he go? He checked this time. Mike Winters on the call down there at third, or at first base, the crew chief. And so here's another look. Yep, checked. And the count goes to 3-2. Strike 3 call. That takes care of Cleveland in the 7th. It's 3-0 Cleveland. Tonight's Wednesday Showdown brought to you by your Tampa Bay area Mazda dealers. Rays coming in to hit in the bottom of the 7th, trailing 3-0. They've been out hit 3-1. Well, this is the time of the evening when the Rays have worked their magic in their victories. They're down by 3 runs, and Evan Longoria takes the first pitch for a ball. Longoria, Dickerson, and Jennings due up in the 7th inning. rolls it to short. Lindor up and out with the throw, and it's there in time. One out in the home half of the 7th. Tyler Naquin has taken over in center field, and Rajah Davis moves over to left. Marlon Byrd out of the game, so Naquin will go into the 7th spot in the order. That's Corey Dickerson.
It's been remarkable, the Rays turnaround offensively late in games. You just stay with the plan, and all of a sudden you get some mistakes that you can handle. You'd love to see them get it started a little bit earlier, but they have faced some starting pitching that has been on their game.
Dickerson takes a big cut and misses. Well, they've trailed after 6 innings in all 3 of their wins this year. In similar situations last year, they had 9 wins all year. When trailing after 6 innings last year, 9 wins. One and one to count. Ball, 2 strikes. Well, there's the breakout. Innings 1 through 5, they've been outscored 27-9, and beyond that, they have outscored the opposition 14-3. We'll see how this works out tonight. Dickerson is out. Gomes with a pickup, and he just gets that throw there in the nick of time for Cleveland.
And credit Muchlinski, Mike Muchlinski, the home plate umpire. This ball gets by Yan Gomes, is kept in front by, well, you'll see it right here. Little change up down, gets by Gomes, chest protector, and now you got to find it. He knows it got by him, looking all over the place for it. Corey Dickerson trying to sneak down there to first base. And that was actually a nice job by Mike Napoli to find that ball low to the ground and finish that play off. It's been one of those nights so far for the Rays.
Yeah, they just haven't had much fall their way, and not much in the way of opportunity. 1-0 the count on Desmond Jennings. Two and 0. That's Anthony's 2 and 1. Down to third. Uribe gloves it, fires it across the diamond. 3 up, 3 down. Headed into the 8th inning tonight, 3-0 Cleveland. the 8th. 7 innings for Drew Smiley. And Ramirez takes over in this 3-run deficit. You can see what the bullpen has done for the Rays this year. It has been outstanding by looking at those numbers.
17 separate appearances, 15 have been scoreless. They've covered 20 2/3 innings and given up just 14 base runners. So they just really have limited the opposition's chances, and those numbers spell that out. And really, it's been everybody. Everybody has been contributing. Everybody has stepped up.
Colin Cowgill will lead it off here in the 8th and misses the first pitch. The pitch just ran away from him. 7 innings for Smiley at 11 strikeouts. For the 3rd time in his major league career, he logged as many as 11 strikeouts in a single outing. Foul ball deflects off Casale. 0-2. So 3 runs, 2 earned off Smiley.
For Drew Smiley, it was kind of like that last start, just a couple of pitches here or there, but I'll tell you, he just continues to work that ball around the strike zone. 3 hits, just 2 earned runs. You had that those plays that the shallow fly ball, the ball that got by him and into the camera well. 11 strikeouts. He didn't hurt himself with the walk. It's just he's pitched on a night where Carlos Carrasco has been virtually unhittable. He has been as advertised, but Drew Smiley, again, another start where you see all the different things that you like about him, the way that he's able to get those strikeouts by changing speeds and changing eye levels rather than just pure velocity.
Ball, 2 strikes.
With the Rays having trouble scoring runs early in games, it puts the starting pitchers in that position where there is no margin for error. A pitch here, a pitch there, a bad play here, a bad play there, and you're on the hook.
Well, you look at Smiley tonight. A little over 100 pitches, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk.
Yeah.
11 strikeouts. You figure, hey, that's going to be a good night. He leaves trailing 3-0.
Yeah, 2 earned runs, and you leave with a 3-run deficit on top of it to add insult to injury.
Yep. Ramirez goes full up here on Cowgill. It's Rajah Davis on deck. Now the left fielder. A little piece of it. Counting another 3-2 pitch. Well, the last time Smiley had 11 strikeouts last year in the middle of September against the Red Sox. 3rd time in his career tonight. Broken bat, and that's going to be a foul ball.
Well, coming into this start, he's had 20 starts with the Rays coming into this one, and 126 strikeouts and 121 innings pitched. I mean, he's been a more than a strikeout and inning guy. He does it again here tonight. I just like the style in which he does it with. He doesn't just rear back and blow you away like a Carrasco does, some of these power guys, but he just moves the ball around, changes speeds, a lot of deception, but still able to get those strikeouts when he needs them.
Well, the Rays have 2 shots, and Ramirez in here trying to hold the Indians right where they are. Strike 3 call. He threw him a fastball, got him looking. 12th strikeout for Rays pitching. Well, here's what's coming up Friday on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Orestes will break down Jose Abreu with the White Sox in town. And it will be the MLB celebration of Jackie Robinson Day. And we'll be with you at 6:30 with Rays Live, the pregame. Rajah Davis takes breaking ball in the dirt. 1-0. Into left, cutting across. Jennings is there. Desmond makes the catch. Running straight toward the foul line.
Well, I'll tell you, the Rays can run some athletes out into the outfield. You see that ball go up in the air, and if it's going to stay in the yard, you feel like you've got a good chance of somebody running it down. And that ball off the bat, I think Rajah Davis is thinking, hey, that ball's going to get down, get me a base hit, and Desmond Jennings just kind of floats over there, makes that play easy. Geyer out in right field tonight. Souza Jr. can go and get him. We don't even need to talk about Mr. Platinum out in center field, Kevin Kiermaier.
Jason Kipnis looks at a strike. Well, the only inning in which the Indians have had any hits came in the fourth. 3 runs, 2 earned on 3 hits, and an error in that inning. The Rays got 1 hit in the fourth. So for both teams tonight, the only inning in which they gathered any hits at all was the fourth. High fly ball deep to right field, and Kipnis has hit it out. Kipnis hits his first home run of the year on a 1-1 pitch, and that adds to the lead. It's 4-0 Cleveland.
That was just a flat breaking ball by Erasmo Ramirez that stayed on the same plane, and it broke right into the swing of Jason Kipnis. Not much else to say about that one.
Nope. Lindor takes the pitch down. Yeah, those breaking balls that are hit for home runs just don't look like much of a pitch at all.
They just, well, yeah, I mean, there was no depth to it. Didn't really even sweep that much. And of course, Kipnis, all he's doing is pulling his hands in close to the body, trying to get the barrel to that baseball, and then it just, well, you do half the work for him.
2-1 to Lindor. Lindor, young infielder wearing number 12. They had a pretty good infielder wearing number 12 from Puerto Rico in Cleveland history, and Roberto Alomar. Ball hit hard and fouled. It's 2-2. Boy, he had some great years up there with the Indians. And Lindor, born in Puerto Rico, as we mentioned earlier, came to the Orlando area when he was about 12, and he wears number 12.
And knowing that Indian organization, they don't hand out numbers haphazardly. You're going to get number 12. You are going to be a player like Francisco Lindor. Not just going to give that to anybody because it happens to be open.
There's ball 3. A shot of Sandy Alomar Jr., number 15 there, the first base coach, and the brother of Roberto Alomar.
He still won't give up his number.
No.
He's
Cut the miss. Lindor chases that one. A run on the home run. We go to the bottom of the 8th now. A 4-run deficit. We go into the bottom of the 8th. The Rays are down by 4. They've had a tough time again tonight against Carlos Carrasco. Brad Miller will open the bottom of the 8th. Miller, Geyer, and Kiermaier. Ground ball. There's a base hit into right to start it for Miller. And the Rays put the leadoff man on base. That's the second time that's happened tonight. Jennings opened the 5th with a walk. So now the Rays with 2 hits off Carrasco. They've doubled their hit output from last year when he came close to throwing a no-hitter. Joey Butler with 2 outs and 2 strikes on him in the 9th broke it up.
I mean, to be that close and then not even get the complete game.
Yep.
And give up a run.
That's right. Rays got a run on him, 8 2/3.
He didn't seem too broken up about it, though.
There's Geyer going after the first pitch, lifting a fly ball short right. Cowgill will make the catch. Well, you know, his quotes afterward, he said, look, I got ahead of myself because I started thinking about how I was going to celebrate after.
Oh, yeah, don't do that.
No. And next thing you do, Butler's got a base hit.
Well, that just goes to show you. I mean, even when you're going well, you've got to stay disciplined. You've got to stay pitch to pitch to pitch. Execute through, and then there's plenty of time for the other stuff because, boy, in this game, whether it's 8 2/3 or the first pitch of a game, if you're getting ahead of yourself and thinking down the road, you typically don't get there.
Yep. Pitch at a time. Now Kevin Kiermaier. It's a strike.
And that's why, you know, you get that runner on third base. It's a 1-run game. There's 1 out in the inning, and you're thinking out of the mound for a split second, well, I could use a strikeout here. You start thinking about strikeout before you throw the first pitch, you're probably not going to get it. You literally have to execute, boom. But when you get to 2 strikes, now you can start to think, what do I have to do to put him away? But you've got to stay pitch to pitch. I mean, it's so true. And it's a lot easier said than it is done.
Ground ball short. Lindor. Kipnis won first base. Not in time there. Kiermaier beat the attempt at a double play on the backside of that. So he's aboard on a fielder's choice.
You know, that right there is just a perfectly set up double play for the Indians. And this speaks to Kevin Kiermaier and his hustle coming out of the box. That was as routine as it gets. Ball was hit firm. Boy, a quick turn, no wasted movement. But look at Kiermaier able to beat it out. That's effort. That's all that is just effort.
Now Kurt Casale 0 for 2 tonight. Casale with a strikeout and a ground out tonight. That's a strike. Well, as we anticipated, not many deep counts tonight, and right now Carrasco's pitch count's under 90 pitches. It's 2 outs into the 8th. That's a base hit. Shot into left center. Kiermaier hitting third. Ball rolls to the wall. Kevin's going to score on a double by Casale, and the Rays are on the board. Boy, Casale hit that ball very hard up the alley and all the way to the wall.
That was loud coming off the bat. I'd like to see what that exit velocity is, because this ball gets powdered. You hit a line drive that low and it rolls to the wall, you have crushed it. And Kevin Kiermaier, with his speed, going on contact, he's going to come wheeling around pretty easily.
So the Rays with a couple hits and a run in the inning. Casale at second base for Logan Forsythe.
And just keep working your way to maybe one swing can tie this thing up.
That's a strike. Logan 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts, one looking. The last time up, struck out swinging in the 4th. Logan had the big 2-run home run in the 8th inning last night, only to have Evan Longoria follow suit in the same inning with a 2-run blast. Into the dirt. 1-1. Rays could use a couple of those right now. And again, it's 2-1. Bullpen has been up and will be ready if they need anyone. Brian Shaw and Ross Detweiler had been up. Now Shaw's the only man standing out there. Detweiler headed back to the bench. Ground ball deep short, through into left field, a base hit. They're going to wave Casale to the plate. Throw will come through. He is out at the plate. Gomes put the tag on him. Kevin Cash out of the dugout, and he wants them to wait a moment.
Yes, you have to. And the throw was offline by Davis, and so Yan Gomes had to backhand that and then dive at Casale. Did the glove get to the body before Casale got to the plate? Let's see. Now the only thing that the Rays, one of the big things the Rays have going against him is he was already called out, so you're going to have to see an angle here where it looked like that tag got under the left arm in that armpit area. That's an aggressive wave right there by Charlie Montoya. And they may have gotten.
Gomes diving back in front of the plate. So a base hit to left by Forsythe. And the Rays, who have scored one already, trying to get that second run on the out call at the plate. So the play under review. Rays challenging this call. And they'll come up on the short end of that one. Call on the field out at home, and it remains that way. So the 8th inning is over on that play at the plate. So we'll take another look. Here's that play at the plate. It's 4-1 Cleveland. Game 4-1. Rays got a run, lost a man at the plate to end the inning. Mike Napoli will open the 9th inning for Cleveland against Erasmo Ramirez. It's 1-0. Well, the Rays pushing the envelope, trying to get their catcher Kurt Casale home from second on the base hit by Forsythe, and Rajah Davis threw him out at the plate.
Oh, that was an aggressive send. Rays looking to make something happen. The throw was a little bit wide. You got to give some credit too to Yan Gomes, trying to hold his ground. He backhands that ball and then is diving for the tag across the plate. But the bottom line is they made the play.
It's a strike 2-2. Well, there you go. You can see Charlie Montoya waving Casale home. Napoli out on strikes. Third strikeout for Ramirez. Coming up on Rays Live, the postgame presented by Checkers. Todd Narestitz will anchor the coverage. We'll have the Kevin Cash press conference and Emily Austin presenting interviews from the clubhouse. And you can see they'll be breaking down that play at the plate on the postgame. Pitch is wide. Rajah Davis, not known as a great arm to throw men out at the plate, but you've got your catcher running, and it's a 3-run deficit. There's a base hit. Kiermaier makes the pickup, and Santana has his first hit of the night.
You know, when you're the third base coach, the only time that you're really recognized are in these types of situations.
That's right.
You know, I mean, they've got to make judgment calls. Who are the outfielders? How hard was the ball hit? Who's running? What kind of jump do they have? Where are they in relation to where the ball is? What kind of angle is the outfielder taking? I mean, there's so much that goes into it, and it is a bang-bang decision that you have to make. If it goes well, no one says a word. You get the tag in the armpit, and all of a sudden, maybe you don't do that. I mean, that's a thankless job.
Yeah, there are a lot of elements that go into that play, and one is that on a ball where Davis fields it deeper than he does, no problem.
Right.
Because, again, he's not known as a guy. He can go get the ball, but he's not going to throw out a lot of hitters. And Santana breaking there. Gomes fouled it. But it was in very shallow left, which gave, if he had any chance at all, Davis, to make the play, he had to make that play from shallow left. And the throw, as you point out, was not on the plate. It was a great play by Gomes to go get that throw and then get back to the plate and make that tag.
Well, that's why you see, you ever wonder why these, that ball got whistled right over the head of Casale. But that's why when you see these third base coaches, when those plays are happening, they get themselves way down the line trying to buy a little extra time in making the final decision, because the more distance they can put between third base and themselves gives them a chance to hold a guy and get him back to third, and gives them another beat or two to make a decision. But right there, Charlie Montoya really wasn't hesitating. He was just saying, we are going to challenge the arm of Rajah Davis, and it did not work out, although he did end up down there giving the safe call right next to home plate.
Well, two things there that bode for the argument to send him. Number one, he doesn't have that great arm that you're fearful of.
Hey, guys.
And it's not accurate. And his throw was not accurate. It really was a great play by Gomes that defeated the idea to push the envelope and try to get the runner home. And the other thing then that may have mitigated against that is that you had the catcher running, and of course catchers aren't known for their speed. You know, an average base runner scores in that situation. It was that close with the catcher running. So a lot to think about, as you pointed out, in just one little beat in time there as to whether you're going to send it or not.
I mean, right. How long have we talked about it? He doesn't get that long to
No.
make the decision.
That's exactly right. Well, another strikeout. That's 15 strikeouts tonight for Rays pitching. 15 strikeouts.
Out of 26 outs.
Yep. And now Naquin. 1-0 the count. Ground ball right side. Ramirez covers and Morrison makes the play. They leave a man. Last shot for the Rays, down 4-1. Tonight's Wednesday showdown brought to you by your Tampa Bay area Mazda dealers. Rays coming in to hit in the bottom of the 9th inning. They are down 4-1. And they will be facing Cody Allen. Making his 3rd appearance. He was in last night when he walked Morrison and Longoria hit the home run.
Well, how about a replay of that? Make this thing real interesting.
Well, here's Morrison. He singled in the 4th. Allen in after Carrasco worked the front 8. Pitch is down. Hot shot. Oh, what a stop by Napoli. Morrison trying to get it up that right field line, and Napoli denied that.
Well, a couple of things saved Mike Napoli. First of all, positioning. Second, he's right-handed. That glove is close to the line because that ball was absolutely scorched. And Mike Napoli made a heck of a play. A step and a dive. Wow, not easy. Not easy.
That was a shot back of first. One gone. Here's Evan Longoria. Fouling it away. Strike one. Carrasco worked 8 innings. Gave the Rays a run on 4 hits. He struck out 8. So in his last 2 starts here, 16 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, and 21 strikeouts. Longoria down 0-2 now. He hit a home run worked it to 3-2 and then unloaded.
And this was a similar pitch to that that Longoria swung through earlier in the at-bat. He gets it again and made a great adjustment on it.
Lays off. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
But Cody Allen, his delivery to home plate is like Corey Dickerson when he swings the bat. They just do not get cheated. Max effort each and every time.
It's wide. Just a bit out there. 2-2. Allen 34 saves last year in 38 opportunities. He covered 70 appearances. Sky toward left center. Davis and Naquin. It's going to be Davis making the catch, coming over from left.
Number 10, the designated hitter.
2 outs with the bases empty. Rays down to their final out. Dickerson tonight is nothing out of 3. That's a strike at the knees. Rays have been out hit 5-4. They trail 4-1. Up and a bit close with that fastball. 1-1.
You're going to see a lot of that this year with Corey Dickerson because of the fact that he is so aggressive. He wants to get his arms extended. He's got that big swing. Pitchers are going to try to crowd him, especially guys that have good live fastballs, just to try to keep him honest.
Ground ball through into right center field. Dickerson is aboard. Cowgill cuts it off. So Dickerson keeps it alive for the Rays.
Yeah, he took a breaking ball off the dirt and just smoked that ball. I mean, Jason Kipnis had no chance of getting to this. Watch how low this pitch is, and it just gets hammered.
You know, we saw him lift a pitch for extra bases.
Was that last night off Kluber? We got that little cutter that was down, and he flipped it over the head of Jose Ramirez.
Yep.
Well, and no, and the home run to center field in Baltimore.
And Baltimore was it. Here's Jennings popping it foul, and Lindor finds it, lost it, and that ball is stuck up there. Uribe was after it first, and then Lindor went out there and had a track on it, but the ball stuck. So that's a foul ball.
They want you to go get that tomorrow afternoon, Dwayne.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm not even catching a foul ball back to the booth. I'm giving you all of those opportunities as well. Happy to say that your fielding percentage is 1,000.
Well, I know that I got to cover. I'm going to have to dive at some point.
Pitch is up. It's 1-1. Get to the screen. 1-2. Yeah, we're talking about Dickerson. It was that home run he hit off Vance Worley.
Yeah.
It was a sinker, and he hit it to center field.
Yes.
Hit it out.
Missile.
ball hard on that pitch down here in the ninth for a base hit. Now 1-2 to Jennings. Popped up, first base side foul. Napoli near the stands. No play. So Dickerson at first. Still 1-2 to Jennings. Ball away. They checked. 2-2.
Good call.
Rays playing with just 1 out left here. They need at least another base runner to have a chance. Popped up, straight back, and will be out of play. So another foul ball. Morris had hit a shot back at first that Napoli, who was guarding the line, made the play on. Longoria hit the fly ball in the left center. Rajah Davis caught that. And then Corey Dickerson refused to be the guy to make the last out. That's sort of his nature. We've seen him play enough to figure that out. He's aboard. Another pop foul. So Jennings hanging in there. Fouling one after another. This one out of play. First, Dickerson back in. Two again. Into the dirt. It skips away from Gomes. The wild pitch sends Dickerson down to second base.
Needed a cutoff man for that pitch. Well out in front of the plate. Yan Gomes had no shot, very little shot. And Desmond Jennings just continues to work a tremendous at-bat, trying to get on base and giving the Rays one swing, one chance at it.
So a full count. And a swing and a miss on the fastball. Jennings out on strikes to end this game. Rays get a hit and leave a man on in the ninth inning and drop this game 4-1. We'll take a look at the final pitch from Cody Allen.
Well, he finally went upstairs right at the top of the strike zone, 93 miles an hour, and was able to get it over the swing of Desmond Jennings. And look at that. You know how upset. That was a great at-bat put up there by Desmond. And at the end of the day, Cody Allen was able to get one by him and finish it off.
So a 4-1 final. Carrasco gets his first win, his first decision of the year. Smiley drops it 0-2, and Allen picks up a save. Before a crowd a little over 10,000, 2 hours and 32 minutes, the time of this game. And so the series is even at a game apiece. Day game tomorrow. We'll be with you again on Friday at 6:30 when the Rays open the weekend series against the Chicago White Sox. Brian Anderson and the rest of our crew, Dwayne Stats, hope you've enjoyed the telecast and not the outcome. 4-1 the final. Cleveland over the Rays. Rays Live, the postgame presented by Checkers, is next.